This is Moonbase to Pluto 5. Do you copy? This is Moonbase to Pluto 5. Do you read me? Moonbase to Pluto 5, you are 10,000 miles to Earth Moon geostationary. Your ETA in the Moon's geostationary orbit is 8:27 GMT. Do you copy? Do you copy? I repeat, do you copy?
I'm heading off along the starboard side of the ship now. Now I'm right by the forward access port, which is, also sealed. These dents seem to be consistent with some kind of meteor damage. Yeah, this is the emergency repressurization system, which has not been activated. There's no evidence of any major catastrophe.
Don't you think that's a bit premature?
Stand by. I should be able to get a good look inside the cockpit.
David, shuttle Alpha 2, come back in. Shuttle Alpha 2, come back in.
Oh, jeez. I'm okay now.
What happened?
Well, Nathan, I saw the pilot or somebody. Or someone, I don't know. It's not a pretty sight.
Well, it's got to be better than the toe of your boot.
You reckon?
Second thoughts, I prefer your boot.
I can see all the way through to the mess hall. They're all dead.
Yes, that much is obvious. David, can you get any more light in there?
Look, I don't know if I want to. Sorry, but that's the best I can do.
Yes, all right. Call it a day. Get him back in. Kinsey, will you get him back in? Kinsey!
David, you have 14 minutes left of oxygen.
Ah, Nathan. May I present Dr. Anna Schoen? Dr. Schoen, Commander Nathan Spring.
Oh. I'm very pleased to meet you. Well, now you're here, perhaps we can proceed. I do think we've waited long enough.
Your enthusiasm is commendable, but there are certain customary procedures. It is a courtesy to allow a representative of the medical firm responsible for the ship to be the first on board.
Well, it is a courtesy not to leave dead men orbiting the moon.
Well, now we have a doctor.
Forgive me if I'm wrong, but I thought we had several doctors on Moonbase, including yourself.
Commander, if there has been a delay, it was the fault of my company, and I apologize on their behalf.
Oh, please. Well, don't apologize. It's not your fault. I'll introduce you to David Theroux. Tell me, when can you leave?
As soon as you wish.
Well, before you go, Nathan.
Excuse me, please. Listen, when I took this job, I was told I'd have a free hand. I didn't know I'd have the other one tied behind my back.
I'm sorry, my hands were also tied.
Well, I just like to be involved.
Hanimed didn't want to involve you at all. They're treating it as a simple in-flight accident.
As simple it is not.
No, why do you say that?
Well, the positioning of the bodies, for one thing. Normally, when somebody dies, people stand up. They were all sitting down. It means they died precisely at the same moment, instantaneously, to the second.
Electricity?
Well, with plastic seats. Well, the probe showed no sign of radiation, no chemical toxins, no foreign pathogens.
Stranger things have happened.
Well, not on my beat.
I'm afraid I have another case for you.
Look, it never rains, but it pours.
Pardon?
It's an English expression.
Oh. Now, I received news this morning that a radio contact has been lost with a very dear colleague of mine, Christina Jensen.
The cell regeneration expert.
Oh, you've heard of her. Well, you know then that she works in an orbiting lab. Her regulation call-ins have not been received for 60 hours.
Well, what you need is a radio mechanic.
No. I need a friend with security clearance and transport. Her course will bring her opposite the moon in 3 hours' time.
You're not asking me to go there now, are you? Alex, look, I have been waiting for 48 hours for the go-ahead on Pluto 5.
You have deputies.
I could say the same to you.
This woman is my dearest, most honored colleague. I have brave fears for her safety. I cannot order you to go there. I can only tell you how important it is to me.
All right, then I go.
You are my comrade and brother.
Very impressive, Colin. But you have to do it in here.
They wouldn't let me anywhere else. I've got to do it somewhere. It's a well-known fact. Prolonged hypergravity has a disastrous effect on the human body.
Yeah? Well, it's a much ignored fact that men stink when they perspire.
Healthy body, healthy mind.
In your case, Colin, I wouldn't count on it.
It's been a change in plan. What the hell is that? Kenzie, you're going out to Pluto 5.
Oh, what?
You'll be with David. Something's come up. ISPF to control.
Well, are you going to share it with the group, or has democracy been abandoned?
Who said anything about democracy? Colin. Colin!
Yeah.
You'll have to hold the fort. I'm going out to Earth orbit F6. ISPF to control.
This is Control.
Thank you, Control. I want an interorbital vehicle to rendezvous with the Janssen Space Lab. 30 minutes.
Anything you say, boss.
Very nice for you. We'll think about you while we're down among the dead men.
What is it with you, Kenzie? You complain when I keep you in the office. You complain when I send you out to the field. Colin, will you stop that? Now, I've told you before. If you don't like the work, I can have you transferred.
Well, I do like the work. I just can't see the point of some of it. I mean, those guys have been dead for 1.5 years. Whatever killed them lives in the asteroid belt.
Yes, well, I want you to make sure that it's not still on board.
I'll take
That's
it if
all
you
right.
like.
Kenzie can handle it.
Finally sent us some medical expert.
Yes. Yes, David's finding her a suit.
Huh?
Yes, Dr. Anna Shun, Japanese girl. She works for Hanamed, the medical advisors to the survey group.
There you go, Colin. Someone new for you to leer at.
Hadn't you better get yourself a suit? David is going to be waiting.
Yes, sir.
Meanwhile, Davis, when you get your breath back, perhaps you'd like to find out everything you can about Christina Janssen.
The biologist.
She was a biochemist.
Isn't she still?
Let's hope so.
Alpha 2, on my mark, you have 60 seconds to docking. Mark.
Copy Control, 60 seconds to docking.
Check.
Okay, Kenzie, look. I'm going in first. If there's no obvious danger, I'll signal to you within 3 minutes. But if you don't see my signal, Kenzie, you leave me on that ship. Agreed?
Okay.
No,
Alpha 2, you have 50
you're
seconds
entering
to
the ship
docking.
on my company's authority. It is I who will go first.
No, I can't allow that.
I'm afraid you can't stop me. It is my company's name on the investigation warrant. And I have been detailed to be the party.
With all
You
due
have
respect,
40
Dr. Shin, I
seconds,
wouldn't
10
take your
seconds to
instructions too
automatic
literally.
procedure.
I always
Control.
do.
Override on automatic.
Yes, proceeding on
You
automatic.
seem pretty dedicated to this Hanamed outfit.
They are
line
mother and
is
father
perfect.
to me.
Yeah, I bet you say
A
that to all
family
the girls.
organisation, that's nice.
No, multinational corporation. We have the Medicaid contract for most of the interplanetary space project.
9.
You had the Medicaid
8,
contract. I don't imagine
7,
Pluto 5 will have done your business
6,
much good.
5,
There is as yet no evidence to suggest the primary failure of
3,
medical support.
2,
And you're here to make sure we don't find anything.
Locking off.
No, I am here like yourselves, in search of the truth.
Yeah? Well, I'm just here trying to make an honest buck.
For a change.
Oh, shut up and hatch. Our leader is ready to lead.
Dr. Janssen? She certainly keeps it hot in here.
The temperature is 41.2 degrees.
Dr. Janssen? Dr. Janssen? Dr. Janssen? traffic computers. See if anyone's been near this craft in the last few days.
Checking. The answer is no.
This is a standard Eurospace lab. Where do they keep the thermostat box?
The manual reset is above the main port.
Clear screen. Moonbase Central Control.
Moonbase.
Get me Kravenko.
Nathan?
It's bad news, I'm afraid, Alex.
How bad?
The worst. I'm sorry. It would appear I arrived 2 hours too late.
Have you any idea of the cause?
I have no idea at all. We can't rule out suicide.
I can. It was absolutely not in her nature. She was first and foremost a scientist. Impulsive actions were completely foreign to her.
Well, it wasn't exactly impulsive. She broke off communication 2 days ago. Alex, I'll bring the body back and find out what I can at this end. You did everything you could. F6 clear.
Dr. Shun, come in, please.
Alpha 2, what?
Dr. Shun, come in, please. Do you read me?
This is Alpha 2. We've had no contact with
Anna, are you okay?
How long has she been in there?
5 minutes. Anna.
5 minutes.
Dr. Shun, come in, please. Come in, Dr. Shun. Come on. Anna. Dr. Shun, do you read... Oh, Anna, go to the ship's radio. No. Use the ship's radio.
Look, she can't hear you. Let's go in there.
Look, Kenzie, the procedures that we wait here...
the procedure.
Why the hell didn't you contact us like you were supposed to? When you're in here alone, anything could have happened.
Maybe not alone.
What do you mean, not alone?
There are 4 crew members in the cockpit and 3 in the galley.
And where's the 8th?
I checked the sleeping quarters and they're empty.
Ah!
What's the problem?
We're missing a stiff.
Are you sure? Oh. Right here.
I suppose you're used to this kind of thing.
It's impossible to get used to this kind of thing.
I'm sorry if I was getting at you before.
I wasn't aware of it.
What do you make of them?
The decomposition is too far advanced. I'm not a forensic scientist.
You're not?
No, I'm a general physician.
Oh, I thought you'd be forensic. David's taking his time.
Actually, it's quite unlikely the remaining crew member is still alive on board.
Why do you say that?
If you ever smell the dead body, you know they make the worst possible roommates, huh?
You're not counting Colin Davis.
I just found the 8th.
Oh, Jesus.
What's that?
It's a thermostat.
Suppose you guys saw it all, did you?
Pardon?
I wasn't talking to you. She drained her computer.
I have some information for you.
From Davis?
Yes.
Run it up, then.
I don't know why you don't get yourself a secretary for this sort of thing. I can think of better ways of getting us all back. Anyway, I put your news clips together. Hope that's all you want, because that's all you're getting. It's 1:10, my dinner time.
Finally, the European Young Scientist of the Year award has been won by...
Run on.
Meanwhile, in Copenhagen, a team of Danish scientists working on cell regeneration have... And the Nobel Prize for Science was awarded unanimously to the Danish biochemist Christina Jansen, pioneer of the drug Jagadil, which... On the eve of this year's ceremony, criticism has been levelled at last year's winner, Christina Jansen. A report in the German magazine, Heute, claims that her drug trials were conducted without the consent of the patients. A spokesman for Dr. Jansen said that in view of the drug's enormous contribution to humanity, there surely can be no cause for concern.
Hold it there. Enlarge.
No cause for concern.
Enlarge.
No cause for concern.
Enlarge.
No cause for concern.
Okay, print.
That's the last of them. What have you found?
It looks as though the cabin was overheating. I think he was trying to fix the acclimatizer.
What, do you think they were poached to death then?
No, the failsafe is still connected. It would have kicked in, though, as soon as the cabin temperature exceeded 41 degrees.
Why 41?
Because that's how it's set.
It's the upper limit of a human body's tolerance to heat.
Well, so it would kill you?
No, we can survive much higher temperatures for short periods of time.
Well, for how short?
Well, we can withstand double the temperatures for about an hour.
Oh, so they would have had time at least to unzip their suits. So that's one theory shot to hell.
I was just thinking out loud.
Hey, your contribution is appreciated, Kenzie. What have you got there?
Oh, personal effects, books, photographs of families, music, tile. You see them like this and you forget they were people once. Oh, hold it with the bag. I haven't done this one yet. This one is Winter's G. He has a condo somewhere with palm trees and 2 blonde-haired daughters.
Well, I hope to God they never see him like this.
Well, there's a few people I wouldn't mind seeing like this.
Will you shut it, Kenzie? And turn that damn thing off! You know, every time I think I detect a germ of compassion in you, you prove me wrong. Why is that?
It's a defense mechanism, isn't it, Anna?
You must honor death in both word and action.
I was asking you as a doctor, not as a Buddhist. This is him. Winters G. He reads spy novels.
Tube of chocolate.
1 tube of chocolate.
Chewing gum.
Chewing gum.
Room key.
1 room key.
Pills. That's it.
Pills.
Wait. What kind of pills?
Oh, it's Pheramol. They all have them.
Dr. Shun, what's Pheramol?
It's an iron supplement. After a couple of years in space, you let blood cells begin to break up. You take 1 a week.
Does it work?
Oh, yes, certainly.
Well, I must take some back for Colin Davis. He needs all the help he can get.
Come on! I see you, Bobby on a bike.
Who won? The bike did. I wouldn't ever do that, you know. That's what my wife used to say.
Yeah? Which one?
Eleanor, the 4th one. That's what I call late advice. Listen, Colin, find somewhere else to do that, will you? What are these?
Oh, it's a present from Kenzie. Virility pills. Those poor bastards on Pluto 5 are taking them. Not very much good to them now.
Feral. Iron?
They're typical sales puff.
You taking these?
Oh, my cobblers. Everything from that shit's been labelled grade 6. The inside of that box is probably seething with space poison.
Do you believe that?
That's what the computer came up with.
Ah, well, if the computer came up with
It must be
it
true.
must be true, yes.
You're beginning to get boring. Go on, then. Why didn't you think of a poison?
I only believe in things you can see. If you can't detect it, there's a very good chance that it's not there.
That's the sort of thing that got the ostrich where it is today.
How much do you know about Hanamed? Only what I learnt from Madame Butterfly. Who?
You know, what's her face? Cheerful chink.
She's Japanese, she's a doctor, and her name is Anna Shun. So what did she tell you?
The whole spiel. Well, they're a multinational. Contract medical care, mainly in the Pacific Basin. Got a lot of big space contracts, I know. They do everything themselves. Build hospitals, train doctors, design equipment, make drugs, and exercise bikes. What's more, they feed, clothe, and house most of their employees, but I suppose that's par for the course in Japan.
I have your call, Mr. Ho.
Ah, good. Go ahead.
So, little Anna,
Honored President,
have you solved our puzzle?
I have tried to dignify the company with my work.
And what did you find?
The computation of evidence suggests an unidentified toxin.
Indeed. And what is your advice?
It is not for me to advise.
All the same, I'm interested in your opinion.
It is suggested that the ship and its contents should be destroyed.
Your opinion, Dr. Shun.
That is my opinion, sir.
In that case, it will be my opinion also. Good night, Anna.
Good night, sir.
What is your opinion, Doctor?
I was making a confidential report. It is impolite of you to intrude.
It's impolite of you to make a confidential report. Lights. We're supposed to be investigating this thing together.
The head of my company wished to speak with me.
Does he do that often?
No, I have never previously had the privilege.
No. I imagine he normally talks to somebody more senior. In fact, I'm rather surprised he didn't send somebody more senior. At least somebody with forensic. Does it strike you as odd that you were chosen for this job?
I do not question company decisions.
No. I imagine that's your star quality. Doctor, I'm sorry. There's something I want you to see. Do you know who this is?
Christina Jansen, the discoverer of Jagadale.
Which is marketed by?
The drug is marketed by Hanamed.
Hanamed, yes. They sponsor her research. They pay for her lab. Have done for years, right?
Yes, the company devotes excellence. She's a most brilliant biochemist.
She was your most brilliant biochemist. She's dead now.
Oh, no. It's not true.
She committed suicide. Extraordinary enough, it was the same day that Pluto 5 came back in that she broke off contact with the outside world. 2 days later, she killed herself. Well, if you don't believe me, you can see for yourself. We have the body in Moonbase mortuary.
Why did she do it?
I have no idea. But when I found her, she was sitting up with the heating full on. She died instantly. Now, does that remind you of anything? Because I know what it reminds me of. And Hanamed is the common denominator.
It's not my concern. My work is finished here.
And my work is just becoming more interesting.
I'm not a detective.
And I don't work inside Hanamed. That's why I need you to help me.
Commander Spring, many people underestimate Japanese women. We are gentle, but not feeble. You cannot force me to cooperate.
You don't know what I want you to do yet.
You want me to turn against my company?
Oh, well, so you do think the company might be at fault?
No.
So what killed these people, Anna?
I don't know.
You don't know? Well, you used to know. What was it, invisible toxins?
Yes. Yes.
Well, let's see, shall we? I have some of it here. Now, this came from Pluto 5. I'm not allowed to open this because it's contaminated with something which is so deadly it can kill a man before he can stand up. Do you believe that, Anna?
Please be careful.
Do you?
Don't
do you believe that? We're still here now. We're still here. Now, there's an explanation for what happened on Pluto 5. Christina Jansen must have worked that out because she killed herself exactly the same way. Now, why was that? Was it guilt? Was that survey crew unwittingly involved in some kind of experiment?
I will not. I cannot help you.
You can find out what Christina Jansen's research was.
I refuse to betray the trust of my company.
Honor, betrayal, trust. What is all this? It is frightening and embarrassing your ridiculous company.
They are my family.
They're using you.
As you are. Let me go now.
Well done, Spring.
Do I use people, Box?
How long an answer do you want?
Brief.
Well, be more specific.
Do I exploit people unfairly?
Is it possible to exploit people fairly?
Box, I am doing this for psychotherapy. I don't want a lesson in semantics.
You have said before that you can't make an omelette without breaking eggs.
Or cookery.
It is part of your job to make people act against their natures. The technique you use is a matter for your own conscience to decide.
I don't know. It just seems that since Lee died, I've become less sensitive, more mechanical. What do you think?
I don't see being mechanical as anything to be ashamed of.
Thank you, Box. That's all. Good night, Box.
This is through the brain. It shows thrombosis of all the main arteries. No necrosis. Next. Yes, this is the mid-thoracic section. It's huge emboli in both pulmonary veins. Next. This is through her heart. It shows total obstruction of all three vessels. No infarction. There wasn't time for the tissue to die.
Look, I'm sorry to put you through this.
I'm sure she would have done the same for me.
Yes. So what's the diagnosis?
There is no diagnosis. It's not in the textbooks. All the blood in her body clotted, just like that.
Well, what could have caused it?
The human body was designed to function in normal gravity. When you take that away, who knows what happens? I mean, we know the blood thins, we know the bones thin, we know you get a couple of inches taller. What else happens? No one's been out here long enough to find out.
What makes blood clot?
Injury, prostaglandins, platelet activator, some hormones.
Heat?
Severe heat.
41 degrees?
No, that wouldn't do this.
What about tablets?
What kind of tablets?
Iron tablets.
No. Why, do you have a theory?
No, not anymore. But Alex, I have to tell you, I do think this was some kind of suicide.
I pray that it wasn't. She was my friend. If she was depressed enough to commit suicide, I should have known and noticed it earlier. If I had, maybe somehow I could have prevented it.
Now, don't think like that.
It's impossible not to think like that.
And that's the fastest way to drive yourself crazy. The Secret Service killed the only woman I ever cared for. Perhaps if I hadn't been thousands of miles away, I could have prevented that.
You're right, it's pointless. Besides, I still don't accept that Christina killed herself. What did she have to be depressed about?
About whatever she was researching for Hahnemann. I think it was linked to the Pluto 5 disaster.
Hey, wait a minute. Slow down, Nathan. Christina Jansen was my Sunday school teacher's role model. If the woman was any nicer, she'd have wings.
Oh, yeah, remember Dr. Patton? He was supposed to be one of the good guys.
What, so you're telling me all scientists are bent?
I'm just saying that most scientists are broke. And money is to science what politics is to police work. Davis, I thought I told you not to do that in here.
Yeah.
Look, how long are you going to keep this
Just
stuff
till
up?
Saturday, then this heap of junk goes to the mass driver.
What's so special about Saturday?
It was my medical reassessment. I fail, I get sent back to Earth, sorry.
Okay. So what does Christina Jansen do when the lights go out?
Well, Anna could have told us that, but she's already gone back Earthside.
Thought you were going to talk to her.
I did. That's why she left.
Well, what did you say to her?
I implied her boss was a turd. What sort of turd? Same variety as Dr. Patton. Healthy disregard for the Brussels Accord.
Well, there's no such thing as original sin.
Well, what's that? One of your movie quotes?
No, it's a line from a song. The co-pilot of the Pluto 5 was into 1980s pop.
Really? Strange, isn't it? Makes you realize those things we found were real people.
Now, Kenzie said something like that?
Oh, did she? I must have more in common with her than I thought.
Yeah. And if you stop giving her such a hard time, you might find out she's a good cop, too.
Where is she, anyway?
But she won't come in here while old Minnesota Fats is pumping iron.
She can come in now. I've finished.
When did you say your fitness test was?
Saturday.
And if you fail, you're sent back to Earth?
Yeah.
You just failed.
Do what?
I'm sending you back to Earth.
No, you're not sending me anywhere, so I just got a double hernia on that thing trying to stay here.
Great, Nathan. That's just excuse me.
Excuse for what, for God's sake?
Listen, I've got to have somebody get into Hanneman HQ in Tokyo. Now, your medical is the perfect excuse. Once you're in there, you tap their computers. I want you to get me the details of Christina Jansen's recent research.
Oh, yeah, well, wasn't it on her own computer?
No, she wiped it before she died. Or at least somebody did.
Oh, come on, Carl. People pay good money to go Earthside, man. I don't know why you being such a sorry.
Because, David, up here I weigh 15 kilograms and down there I weigh 90. If you think it's a bloody funny, you go yourself.
But he's sending you.
Why can't he go? Or Kenzie? They both need a checkup.
Because they are not logged for one. Besides, they don't have your subtle wit and charm.
Oh, shut off.
Just remember who you're talking to.
Sorry. Shut off, sir.
Davis! Don't get caught.
Clear. Enter. Welcome back, Anna. Mission successfully accomplished.
I think so.
Some problem?
There's something I wanted to ask you
Yes.
about Christina Jansen.
She was an old friend and a loyal colleague. I learned only yesterday of her death. We are planning to endow a scholarship in her honor.
Permit me. I wanted to ask if you knew how she died.
Oh, some technical malfunction. Space is a dangerous place, Anna. The further we pursue knowledge, the more dangers we create.
Do we know what sort of malfunction?
The further we go, Anna, the more dangers we create. We should only embark on such projects if we are sure of our objectives.
Was she researching something hazardous?
All research is hazardous. This is why we direct the footsteps of our employees so carefully.
Did you direct Christina Jansen's research?
I'm directing you, Dr. Schoon, not to concern yourself with matters which cannot be remedied. Christina is dead. We will mourn her, and in time, we may produce another scientist who is worthy to take her place. There.
Please identify yourself.
Richard Howe.
Please repeat your name.
Richard Howe.
Can I help you, Mr. Davis?
Oh, yes, Mr. Ho. I'm here for a medical assessment, and I'm not very good at finding my way around, really.
You found your way to my office.
When in doubt, head straight for the top.
Doubt about what, Mr. Davis?
Well, I meant when you get lost.
Have you talked with Dr. Schoon recently?
Does she work here?
She also was plagued with doubt.
Was a lot of doubt about, Mr. Ho.
There's a lot of espionage about, Mr. Davis.
Well, if you ever need a policeman.
I have a policeman. Get me security.
Screen on.
Commander Spring,
What is it, Kenzie?
we've got a major problem. What are you doing?
Feeding the mice.
Yeah? Well, don't let me interrupt, but if you could spare a minute, we could do with some help, sir. Our man in Tokyo's got his bum in a sling.
Who, Davis?
The president of Hanamed caught him trying to break into his office. So if you can tear yourself away from the little furry creatures...
Look, Kenzie, there's not much I can do about that here. Call Hanamed, tell them it was an innocent mistake, will you?
Look, in my experience, that doesn't translate very well into Japanese. Also, it's not an excuse you ever took from me.
Yes, well, you don't have my spotless reputation.
Well, spotless or not, they're still going to ask why we didn't go through official channels.
Well, tell them the truth. There are no official channels. Aside, the Star Cops have got the legal status of an international football team.
Yeah, well, right now, we've got the political status of a hot potato. The Japanese envoy wants an apology.
All right. Tell him we apologize.
No, he wants you to go down to Earth and apologize to the president of Hanamed in person.
What? Are you kidding? Prostrate myself before a company we're supposed to be investigating? How much credibility do you think that would leave us with?
About enough to open a pie shop in Coolangatta. Nathan? Nathan, get a grip, mate. What do I tell the bloody envoy?
Tell the bloody envoy to go stuff himself. See how that translates into Japanese.
Please identify yourself.
Anna June.
You're cleared. Good evening. Which service do you require?
I'm looking for a research project summary by Christina Jansen.
What is the cross-reference?
Cross-reference is Pluto 5.
That information is classified.
I'm speaking from Mr. Ho's personal terminal.
You're cleared.
Project K/532. Erythrocyte membrane stabilization with semi-synthetic lipoprotein polymers. In vivo animal experiments have demonstrated a significant increase in red cell survival time, effectively counteracting the hemolytic effects of hypogravity. I am passing the drug on for further assessment. It has been assigned to test cohort P5.
Stop.
Good evening. Which service do you require?
Personal code Commander Spring on Moonbase 1.
Putting you through.
Quickly, please.
Nathan. Nathan. Wake up, Nathan.
Spot. Spring, Nathan Spring.
Commander Spring, this is Anna Shun. I cannot speak wrong.
Was that Anna? Did you say Anna?
Anna Shun, I have the information you wanted on Christina Jansen. She was researching on erythrocyte membrane stabilizer. The drug is not product licensed.
Screen her up,
The crew of Pluto 5 are used as a test group.
Anna, start again. What are you saying?
I have no time.
Anna! Box, what's an erythrocyte?
A red blood cell.
A red blood cell. Look, patch me through to Hanamed HQ in Tokyo. Quickly.
Hanamed International? Who do you wish to speak to?
Yeah, I want to speak to Dr. Shun, Dr. Anna Shun.
One moment while we trace her. Come on. She is not in her accommodation.
Well, can I leave a message?
For Dr. Shun?
No. No, for Richard Ho. Tell him that Commander Spring has decided to pay his respects after all.
How long have you been a traitor to us?
I'm not a traitor.
Please don't further degrade yourself by lying.
I have been a traitor for one day.
Is it a career you enjoy?
No, sir.
Seems rather foolish, then, to have chosen it in preference to your vocation. Do you not regard it as foolish?
I felt it was necessary.
It was not necessary! You have no right to judge it necessary! I am your employer! I will decide what is necessary!
What did you learn from the computer?
I learned that an unlicensed drug has been used on trial group P5.
Who or what is P5?
I assumed that...
You assumed? You don't know any more than Christina did. P5, Pluto 5. It's a pretty tenuous connection. Not very scientific.
It is what I believe.
At Hanamed, we are not interested in the beliefs of the daughters of fishermen. We are scientists. We are interested in facts. Fact. Hanamed medical products are used by 40 million people. Fact. The quickest and best way to assess a new drug is to give it to a test group. If the drug is successful, 40 million people will benefit. What is knowledge?
Knowledge is light.
What is ignorance?
Ignorance is darkness.
Who lights the way?
Our elders and betters.
There. You remember? Unfortunately, it is already too late. When did you graduate?
6 years ago.
A brilliant scholar, a promising career, and now nothing. I have repealed your qualification. Your accommodation and personal transport have been repossessed. If your father can forgive you for humiliating him, he may allow you to pack fish in his factory.
Hey.
Hey.
I hear the boss has gone on her side again.
Yep.
You know what gets me?
What?
He never tells me anything. All these strange disappearances and cryptic comments.
It's called being charismatic.
It's called being a pain in the butt where I come from. So does he, share his thoughts with you?
Sometimes.
All right. Why's he going inside?
Well, he said he wanted a nice hot bath.
Thanks, pal.
Christina was like you. Too weak, too short-sighted. I made her reputation with Jagadil. If I'd waited to secure a license on that, how many people would have suffered in the interim? 2, 3 million? Do you still disagree with my methods? Yes, I believe you do. But I discovered that for the majority to benefit, a few must always suffer and die. You know the way out. That was Christina's redeeming feature. She knew the way out.
Hello. Did you order one of these?
Thank you.
Cheers.
Thank you very much. Are you new to the club?
No, no. I'm just visiting. What's this, then? More of Pluto 5, eh?
Yes, I'm getting rather sick of hearing about it.
Yes, I imagine you are.
They've finally agreed to destroy the ship.
Yes, I know. I signed the affidavit. Late in spring. I was asked to call on you.
Not the most appropriate place for our business.
Well, private.
I do not intend our meeting to be private.
Good, good. How's Davis?
I've no idea. I found the man rather coarse.
Yes, he is rather, isn't he?
He's in custody. My lawyers will draft terms for his release.
Well, I imagine your lawyers might be too busy for that. Do you mind if I turn the temperature up?
I was just about to leave. Have you gone mad?
I come from a very hot-blooded family. Just a few questions.
We could finish our career, Commander Spring.
Well, I believe you're rather good at that. Anna, Christina. Yes, it's extraordinary, isn't it? Had the dead come back to accuse us.
Anna has been feeding you her nonsense.
On the contrary, I fed it to her. Tell me, what did you feed these guys?
This is intolerable.
I know how you did it. You put the experimental drug into the pheromone capsules to make sure they took them every week.
The idea is insane.
Yes, well, I didn't come up with it. Actually, I think it's a rather smart idea to use a space crew. Standard community, with regular space of time. A completely kosher reason for a full medical checkup at the end of their tour, right?
So where is this fabled drug now?
Well, most of it was in your drink. Now, I believe it has a rather unfortunate side effect. Christina found that out, didn't she, months ago? It makes the blood clot at 41 degrees.
You're mad. Let me out!
140 thermostat killed the whole of that crew. Christina's suicide was the experiment which proved it.
Is trial by ordeal part of your training?
Is trial by murder part of yours?
You can prove nothing.
I can if you die on me.
You are not a murderer, Commander Spring.
What's that, a confession? Come on, Richard, tell me what happens. What is it? Look at the thermostat there, it's 40 degrees. Now, what happens at 41? Come on, tell me, come on, what is it? What is it? Come on, come on. Because I'm going to find out for myself, aren't I, in 10 seconds. 9, 8, 7, 6.
The drug will kill me.
5, 4, 3, 2.
The drug will kill me.
0.
There was nothing in the drink.
Damn. I guess not.
What does medicine have to do with
I don't
police
think you'd be so
work?
sensitive about having a female inspector around.
Wait and see it.
Ta-da!
Oh, no. Don't tell me we've got you for another year.
I'm never going back.
What's the matter? Didn't you like Japan?
No, it wasn't so much a house arrest, it was the food I couldn't stand. When's our glorious commander coming back?
Tomorrow, he's bringing a new recruit.
What's his name?
Change. Her name.
Waifs and bloody strays.
I thought you liked her.
Yeah, women doctors I like. Women policemen I can do without.
Gee, that's too bad, Colin. You know, the modern police force is a team of experts. There's Nathan in detection, and David and me in engineering, and Anna in medicine. What's your speciality?
Demolition.
Hey?
어디서 어린 거야, 이거? 어, 저거 저거.